Hello, good evening, everybody. Bonjour. We're back again with Dr. Tammy. So we're definitely excited to be here tonight again. We welcome everybody on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for joining us. Like we always said, we come every night to be able to hang out with you and to give you some few nuggets about empowerment and other subjects. So welcome, Dr. Tammy.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Thank you for, you know, hanging out with me these last couple of weeks.
Absolutely, absolutely. Today, our subject or our topic is really to talk about global connections.
Yes.
There's a lot of very good story that we have for you guys tonight. So definitely stay tuned and ask questions. Feel free to put your question, your comment on the comment section, but make sure that you definitely invite others. Make sure that you do stay connected until the end, because there are some very, very good story that you might be able to learn some few things about global connection.
I'm interested now. Now I'm interested.
Absolutely, yeah. Because it's a really, I think the first night when we started this show, we were
Mhm.
talking about how both of us, we purposely chose a global,
Right.
for our business, because we did not name international, or we did not, no, we just stay, we definitely want the name global because that was really fit our vision.
Mhm.
So, why did you choose? Can you just remind our audience why did you choose global, and why do you enjoy so much about your global experience?
Well, I chose global because, when I was thinking about my name, I was thinking, I know I wanted it to be bigger than just catalyst for change. I wanted it to just be change where. I wanted it to be a little more descriptive. And so because of that, I started thinking, okay, well, when I think about that, I think about myself and I think about others. And when I think about others, I think about that impact being all over the world, like no bounds, limitless. And so when I started thinking about the names, I was going back. Well, so then I started thinking, of course, you see other people's names. You see some have international in them, some have global. And I was thinking, okay, well, let me see. And and some of you don't know, but I'm a literacy educator. So I teach reading and writing. And so because of that, words are really big for me and the definition of words. So I thought, I can't just do something haphazardly. I'm a
Mhm.
strategist. So it also has to be strategy behind it. There has to be purpose and strategy. That's my platform, right? So that's the same thing I approached to my name. So I was thinking, okay, if I want international or global. Well, if you really dissect those terms, international means between two countries, just two, a few. International. It could be just two. Like it doesn't mean necessarily that it's the world, right? It just means that it's at least two. And I'm thinking, nope, I can't have that at least, and it can't just be two. So then I look at the word global, and global, of course, is the entire globe, is the entire world. It is Earth. And so that made sense to me. And so when I thought about the impact I want to do, I don't want it limited to a certain geographical area or country. I want it to be anyone who connects with me and in the sound of my voice. And now with live streaming, they can be anywhere in the world. I want to be able to impact change in their life, whether it's personal or something they're doing or a goal or a dream, their vision for their life. I wanted to impact them. And so I went with global because global was the world.
Wow. So, Dr. Temi, in that, my second question would be, when was your first connection with global? Like, did you go, your first experience was, did you travel, or did you have to meet people from different, when was that and where?
So that's interesting you asked. So, now I probably can't remember my very first time because I did go to a university undergraduate where it was kind of what people call a melting pot where there were people all over the world there. So I can't remember necessarily my first time, and that may not have been it. It may have even been before then. But I can tell you that when I started my business, what I found my was that the people who connected with me, the people who came into my space, were from other countries. And so, and I have a lot of people, a lot of the women in my community are from the UK, from London, UK. And I realized that, so that was kind of my first thing, because then I started learning about cultures. But, I remember going to the nail salon, hair, whatever, wherever I was doing, Walmart, whatever, and encountering other cultures and realizing that I needed to learn. So when I go in there and it's Chinese New Year, it's like Happy New Year. And they're like,
Mm.
how do you know that? Like, what? Because I chose to do my research, right? And say, and then of course, instead of making it a big deal, like some people ask questions. And when they ask questions about who you are, like me in this accent, this Texas accent, right? They'll start asking questions, but they do it rudely. Like, where are you from? Like, why you talk like that? Like, that wasn't my approach. My approach was, let me just learn about their culture and say, and then just, and have like a real conversation with some real people, right? And
Mhm.
so, so you can walk in and say Happy New Year. And then they'll look like, wait, we didn't talk about this. Well, what? Then what do they say? Thank you. But a little struck by that.
That's
And
very.
then, yeah, and then the people in my community were from other parts of the world. I had ladies from different parts of the world, from like I said, London, UK, but I had some people from different parts of the continent of Africa. And so it was just, I just had people in my community. And that's when I started realizing. And of course, then they said, hey, lady, you got to come. Like, we're always tuning in. You're always talking about your space. You got to come here. And they see me traveling. They're like, you have to come here. But I will tell you, here's a little secret. Shh, don't tell anybody. This is public. But I will say that my first experience traveling outside of the country was not too long ago, actually. It was actually, now, let me just say, I'm in South Texas. So I'm really close to the Mexico border. So let's just put that disclaimer out there. So we have been to the border and that sort of thing. Especially before there was all these restrictions. In the 80s, it was kind of free for all. We could go, but it's a little different now. But so I will say that in that sense, I'd been out of the country a while back, but to be like really experience other cultures was just in 2019, like 2 years ago. Of
That's
course. Then
amazing.
I've been to
Wow.
several places since then. So
But
I think I've,
but that's the
yeah,
thing though. Like just knowing you, I would have never imagined that you have
yeah,
not only 2 years ago. No,
only
I
two
would
years
have because
ago.
you saw like your passion and also
Mhm.
just your surrounding. Like people they
Yeah,
would think that you've been to different places, but that also says a lot about you. Like you always, you open minded.
yeah.
Like you
I
and
hope
that's
I am.
really. Yes, you are. So that's really good also for business because you
Yeah,
already open and just I really like the example that you gave. Like you walk into the nail salon and you say Happy New Year. That's something really good.
yeah,
Not everybody does that,
yeah. I think
and
what you
you
learn
were
about
very
cultures,
curious.
you know,
Just by nature.
and I think as I'm American. I was born and raised here. I think that here we just assume that everybody, knows about our culture and that we expect them to. Like we expect them to know. But really, no. You don't have this special privilege. I think it should be for everyone. And that's part of getting to know people. And I think, you should learn about the people you encounter. Like if you really genuinely like them,
Mhm.
and want to know about them, you learn about them. Just like you would if you
Absolutely.
were dating. Like, let's just say if you were dating some guy or you're a man and you're dating a girl or whoever you decide to choose to love, you're going to get to know them. You're going to find out things about them. You're going to Google them, see if they got a record. I think that's the same thing you do when you meet people. Like, you learn about their culture. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's very good. Now, about business because we are talking about leadership
Yeah.
this month. But I was just curious to know about one of what's some of the significant partnership that you are really built throughout your business that today you definitely remember that those relationship or those partnership really helped you along the way as a business. Do you have any story to share?
So see, Janine, don't worry, I'm gonna ask you all these same questions, so get ready. But
Of
but
course.
so this is gonna be a transparency moment. I really, let me just say, I really work. I think I work best alone. However, what I've learned about myself, just because,
Okay.
and when I say that, I mean like, with the way my time is, like I'm one of those kind of like, do it whatever I want. Yeah, yeah. Because there's some people that are really like, and that's
Yeah.
not my personality. Like we
Hmm.
clash on that. So I find like some
Right.
of those. But what I found, one, those people keep me together here. But the second thing is I found that, I've needed people in my circle who were big supporters of what I do, and partners, not in the sense that um, we have the same brand and everything, but partners
Hmm.
is they have their thing, I have my thing, and we support each other in that. We can come together and collaborate like you and I do, like this. So things like this work for me because we come together and collaborate on different projects, but it's not that we're tied to each other 24/7 all the time. And so I find that those kinds of partnerships and collaborations work best for me. So, so it's really interesting that now that I'm growing and building and I'm thinking about building my team, it's what does
Hmm.
that look like for me? You know, how, because I'm a boss. Because I have the things that I like and I like them my way, and I have built my brand in a way that I like it. So getting a team is different. So I find that I really like more collaborations because then it's just these two brands coming together with the same mission and vision and increasing the impact. So that works
Hmm.
for me. So I found that all my partners in crime in this space, my partners in vision and growth have been people that we don't necessarily are in the same space. However, what we do complement each other. Our knowledge base complement each other. And so therefore, that support has really, pushed me. Sometimes it's even challenged me like, girl, you got to get it together. And so those are the people you want in your circle. So partnership and collaboration, there's different levels to it, but you must find what works for you. And I think if you have those people in your life that support you, and we've talked about this the last 2 weeks about your circle. I
Yeah.
found the people in my circle, we have similar visions and goals in the sense of moving on to the next level, right? May not be the same. Somebody could be just get ready to start a business where I'm already, moving and shaking. But the thing is, we have this vision that there's something more out of this life. And I think those are the people you want to partner with. Those are the people you want to collaborate with. And, I'm looking for those people because I realize that, I can go because this girl, I'm going to work, I'm going to do my thing. But you can
Yes,
go so much
indeed.
farther when you're with other people. You can do so much more when you have other people. So I'm finding
Hmm.
that partnerships and collaborations are more and more now. Most of my audience might say, every time I see her, she's on screen with someone else because I'm finding that is something that really pushes you and get you going. Yeah, especially when you're goal oriented. You need those people. Yeah.
That's
So
right.
you
That's
tell me.
definitely right. Because I think that that's very important to understand that, that your style, your leadership style. So that's what
Yeah.
really works for you. And as we're talking to you guys today through Facebook and YouTube, just remember you have to really make sure that you have a team or you have those partners that you call. That's definitely you guys complete each other. And
Yeah.
that's what Dr. Tammy said. It's not like we are partner because we have spent time together like 24 hours or every day we talk. That's not means partnership. Partnership really means that you guys have some projects or you definitely have some things in common that you like to accomplish together. And
Right.
through those relationships, that really you build up your business. You also build up other teams. So I
Mhm.
really know something about that, like one or two things about really strategic planning and
Yeah.
and strategic strategic partnership, because that will help me a lot, especially
Yeah.
when like I gave my story, guys. I kind of give some tips about I really grew up in a house where there were always events going on, and my mom was involving in different leadership roles. So I really see how she partnered with different organizations, with different uh, you know, uh, 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 that will be groups of
Yeah.
women or even men just to be able to complete that task or to be able to do this. So that was something that people always require of her. So I kind of learned that in a very young age, like really learning how to collaborate on the project and how to make sure that you don't have that skill, but you know who does. So
Mhm.
how can you be able to bring all those people together? And that it's something that I had to learn. And
Yeah.
that would help me a lot on so many levels. I remember when I was really exposed to different groups of business owners and consultants, and I kind of really wanted to do certain project where I saw that I did not have the skills that I really wanted to do in order to accomplish certain. So I kind of really
Yeah.
plan because you have to plan. Again, you
Mhm.
listening to us tonight, you asking yourself, how can I be able to accomplish this project? How it doesn't matter if you don't have the skills yet, but just
Yeah.
look around you. Look really who can I partner with to be able to accomplish this project or to be able to do this. It could be a conference, it could be a workshop, it could be a training that
Right.
people are they're asking you over and over. Don't leave your business on the table because you don't have that skill. Make sure you do your
Yeah.
research. Make sure you do connect with somebody who have the
Yes.
skills so you can be able to partner with. That's really what we're talking about today. Global connection. And to me,
Yes.
that has served me very well in my business. So that's something that
Yeah.
Dr. Tammy, you definitely also know more about that and myself because on so many levels, sometimes it's like, okay, I don't know. And also it has to be with you because you believe in yourself and you do the planning and the research. I just want to give another example for you guys.
Yeah.
Make sure that whenever people are approaching you with project or they want to know if you can do this and do that, have the attitude say, okay, and let me explore into that. Tell me
It's
more
important.
about it. Don't jump quickly. Say, why I don't know about that? That's not my because you don't know. Maybe they're going to be patient with you. They're going to give you more opportunity after you really serve them and you help them to accomplish that task and more business. That conversation or that project might be able to open your next big project. You never know. So that's what I want you to be very strategic planning. That's really something that you need to be able to plan and to be able to be open-minded, especially
Yeah.
for global. If you want to go global, that's something I would recommend to you. That there's a lot of you could be a speaker or you want to accomplish you have some projects. Make sure that you do enough research, but also you need to be able to have an open mind. It doesn't mean the way we do business, the way you do business here in America, it's not the same
Yeah.
way. And everybody knows, but you just have to make sure you learn about the culture, but also about
Yeah.
how people do business in other countries. So that's something that
Yes.
if you
Something
want,
I've learned.
please
All right,
please
Janine?
contact
Something I had to
Dr.
learn.
Tammy and myself. We are definitely available here to share with you. Definitely, because that really serve us very, very much so in our business. Right,
So
Dr. Tammy?
yeah, Coach Janine. So let's just talk about something else as a part of this connection because we were talking about like the culture. You're talking about the culture and getting to know that. So, and I love the aspect that you got to also remember that partnerships typically
Yes.
involve people who have a skill set that you don't have. They complement
Right.
you, so you
Mhm.
have to be open to that. But the other thing that you mentioned is getting to know that culture, and we've been kind of talking about this between the two of us. And so at least you're going to tell us right now 4 languages.
Yes,
So
only.
tell me how that has one, tell us how many, like clear me up, like fix fix what I just messed up. And then two, how has that served you in your global connections and with speaking and in interacting with people globally or from different cultures or
Yes.
speak different
Oh,
languages?
hmm. And that really served me just be able to speak other languages. I speak only 4 languages, so I'm very
Only,
only
only,
four,
only.
only. Yes. So that really helped me a lot in my business, because when I remember starting really, to be an entrepreneur on in my journey, that was really something that quickly people just, automatically they came to me because they knew I would be able to facilitate, so they can be able to understand better when I was, kind of helping them, because there was
Right.
also other women or other people who were doing the same thing I was doing, but they came directly to me because they knew they can relate, because we can relate culturally, but also because they're gonna feel like a sense of, I have a clarity. I can be able to explain to them better, and that really opened up a lot of business opportunity. So I was like, yes, that's something. And same thing for me. Like I kind of knew who I can be able to go to, especially when I was doing consulting or be able to do some presentations. Especially around trainings and professional development, there was some community that I didn't have the skills, I didn't understand the culture, but I have on my circle. I really make sure I had people who are relate to them also culturally, so they can be able to help me to facilitate those type of trainings. So
Right.
something that really really served me very well, in my relationship in business, and in also at the area of my work. So that's
Right.
something you should be able to do all the time. Look around you, who is around you, who can be able
Mm,
to help you to facilitate,
right.
the business deal, or be able to facilitate, because people, they don't really buy from you because of your product. They buy from you because they trust you. They buy from you because
Right.
they can relate. So make sure you really
Right.
um,
Right.
surrounding yourself with the team that you can really relate to. And whenever you don't have the skills, those people have those skills, so you can
Yes.
always be able to close deals. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Closing
Definitely.
deals is always good.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. And again, like if you just started on your leadership journey, this is not the end. Definitely, we're encouraging you,
Right.
try to make sure you surround yourself with a team, and try to have an open mind. That's the other thing
Yes.
too. You have to be open enough.
Open-minded. Yeah.
Yeah, because the way you do business, that's not how everybody do business, especially see who is in front of you, see who you're surrounding, and especially when you see that you don't have that team of yours, ask us question, or you can do your own research, so that's really something that you need to do the work. We were talking about that yesterday. You need to do
Yeah.
your own work. This is homework for you guys. Definitely
Yes.
make sure you do the research and you take time to get to know the people's culture, and make sure that those global connections that you want, you have time to really build them. Again, the way
Ooh.
you do business, it's not the same that
Yeah.
how people do business other places. And could be, I'm just going to give you another example. I had a friend of mine who went to Japan. He's from Africa, and he used to do this, I mean, to do businesses and, proposal presentation, but that was not the style. He went
Mhm.
there. He said, Janine, for 3 days, I did not meet with the boss, or did not meet with the person I was really trying to do business with. Instead of that, we were going to restaurant, we're going to eat for 3 days. Guess what? At the
Wow.
end of the 3 days, the third day, the guy signed the deal. He said, we did not really. So
They just wanted
he
to
said,
get to know him.
exactly. Because
Yeah.
again, really doing business global, it's about relationship. It's not
Yeah.
so much about presentation. You have a PowerPoint. It's not about that. So when he said, Janine, I had to be flexible enough to say, oh, he said, but I had to calm down because I'm used to do presentation, can I do this? But that was not the style. He said,
Right.
I kind of realized that I had to switch. And then he said, that really served me a lot, because when I went back, I shared that with at a board meeting. People learn that. He said, well, when you're going now to a different country, learn how they do
They
business. So that
operate.
was
Yeah.
something really helped a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. We're talking about global connections, and I know we talked about partnerships and collaborations, and we
Yeah.
talked about how people do business different. The
Mm-hmm.
other thing you must be aware of, and we kind of hinted on it earlier, was your leadership style and
Yes.
just your personality. Like if you have never done a personality test, you probably want to do that. and know both of those, your personality and your leadership style. Because I
Mm-hmm.
also find, not, with my global connections, I really, those I haven't had any issue. But if you're thinking about just partnerships and collaborations in general, you also want to know that, because there's some people that, although they look like this shiny object and they look like they would be great to partner or collaborate with, your personalities or your leadership or your style, your style of engagement may actually be very different. And it
Yes.
may it may not be the best. So you must also be aware. So this goes back to what I've been preaching and teaching since I started my business, is this idea of self-awareness. Like, you must be aware of yourself and how you operate and how you engage with other people, how you do business. Because one, if it's not an issue or it's just something that you recognize, then you can make adjustments, because like we said, like, these connections could really push you forward, but you've got to know what to do. Like, had he gone in there and just did the presentation and just ignored what they wanted, that probably would have been like, bye, see you later. But
Yeah.
because he was able to recognize that, wait a minute, they do things different here. Okay, let's just close it up. Let's go eat, right? Then that created space for, one, you to learn, and two, for whatever is supposed to happen. And so it's really back to that openness, like being self-aware, but being open as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna close up with that.
Yeah.
Definitely remember, make sure that you make room and you are
Yes.
open-minded, number one. Number two, make sure that you definitely surround yourself with people who understand the culture, who can facilitate,
Yeah.
the conversation. And three, most important one, build connection, build the relationship, because
Yes.
some other deals you won't close by just presenting. You'll be
Yeah.
closing those deals by
Right.
making the connection and get to know one another. So that's
Yeah. You
something
got to
that
nurture it.
we're gonna call really nurture it. So we leave you with those few nuggets. Make sure that if you have more questions for us, make sure that you leave a comment, question, or you have also some story that we'd like to hear more about, that about global connection. Okay, so we'll
Yes.
see you guys again tomorrow night, and stay tuned, because we want to make sure that you are here every night. You come expected to be empowered. Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Tammy.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. And thank you, everybody. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Bye bye.